Mike Dell's World number 161 for June 9th, 2010.
Don't bend the space-time continuum for me, babe.
Quit screwing around with that thing. You found Mike Dell's World.
Oh, I can't stop. No, I can't stop. No, I can't stop driving my Toyota. Oh, it won't stop. Oh, it won't stop. Oh my God, it won't stop. It's my Toyota. Won't put my family in a Camry, and you'll never see us riding in a Prius. I'd rather get Ebola than ride in a Corolla, but the brakes are gone in my Avalon. Oh, I can't stop. Oh, I can't stop. Oh, I can't stop driving my Toyota.
You're listening to Mike on Mike Dell's World Podcast.
And I'd like to thank Richard. His ham radio call sign is VK5UK. He's from South Australia, and he visited us here in northern Michigan a couple of weeks ago, and I got him to record a bunch of bumpers and things, and that was one of them. And before that, we heard the song My Toyota from Todd Chappelle off of musicalley.com. And well, let's see, it's been a pretty eventful week last week. If you've been following along on my iPadio casts and here on the blog at MikeDell.com, I had a little family emergency mission I had to go on to South Texas. And I'm going to kind of walk you through what that was all about and just sort of tell you about the adventure I had. And I am so glad to be home. It took me until Wednesday here to recover fully, but I am recovered and I am back in the saddle. So anyway, what had happened is my father-in-law, who is almost 80 years old, it's Kathy's dad, he developed a pretty bad case of melanoma, cancer, skin cancer, and amongst other things, he's got really bad knees and all this. But anyway, it got to where he really couldn't drive home, so they have a summer place there in Donna, Texas. It's an extreme South Texas, kind of in the McAllen, Harlingen area, really close to Nuevo Progreso, Mexico, right there on the border. And they drove their motorhome down, as they do every year in the fall, from their home in Grand Haven, Michigan, down to their home in Donna, Texas. And during the winter, he, of course, got diagnosed with this disease and all that. And he's kind of gone downhill a little bit, although he's doing pretty good right now. But he was going through treatments here, in the last couple of months, and they stayed down there a little longer than they normally do. They usually come back in April, but this time, I had to wait till the 1st of June because his treatments were over on the last day of May. So I volunteered to fly down and drive them home. And let's see, they've got this motorhome, by the way, is not what you're thinking. It's not a huge, big old Class A motorhome. It's not even a medium-size Class C motorhome. It's a Class B motorhome, which is basically a camper van. But it's plenty good for the task at hand. And anyway, so I started out in Traverse City a week ago Tuesday on June 1st. And by the way, the Traverse City Airport has the best waiting area for the gates there. But anyway, flew American Airlines from Traverse City to McAllen, Texas. And they picked me up in McAllen, and we spent the night at their place in Donna, Texas, and then immediately the next morning took off for Grand Haven, Michigan. But on the way down to Texas, I had to go through Chicago, and I had to go through Dallas before I got to McAllen. So I get to Chicago, and it's, about lunchtime, and I'm walking through the airport, and I thought, well, geez, everything else looks busy and or expensive. The McDonald's wasn't busy, and I know it's not that expensive, although it is a little more expensive in the airport. I don't know why that is, but, so be it. So I had McDonald's. Then I get to Dallas, and by that time, it was only a couple-hour flight from Chicago to Dallas, and then the plane was late getting in from wherever it came from, the plane that we were going to take to McAllen. Well, it started getting kind of late, past dinner time. So, same thing. Everything either looked expensive or was really busy. So I thought, well, all right, I'll just get another McDonald's. So I got a quarter pounder with cheese, just something to tide me over till I got to McAllen. So anyway, get into McAllen about 11 o'clock, meet up with the in-laws there, and we head over to their house, and all's well, go to bed, get up in the morning, and, pretty uneventful. It's kind of hot, got the van all loaded up, got the mother-in-law in the van, she's still pretty able to get around, and Pops isn't, so took him a little bit to get in the van, and so we get rolling down the road, and hey, what do you want for breakfast? We're just a little ways north of Donna, still in the valley area, as they call it, there in South Texas, and so why don't we go through the McDonald's drive-thru? All right. So I went through the McDonald's drive-thru, picked up, a couple of Egg McMuffins and, hash browns and all that good stuff. So you're starting to see a pattern here. But anyway, so we get going on up the road, and let's see. I think you might have heard about it if you've been following along, but I'll tell you the story in audio here. Get to... I don't even remember the little town, but anyway, get up the road maybe 100 miles and start hearing this kind of roaring sound as we're going down the road. It's a big 4-lane divided highway, but not an expressway. It's I'm sure you know the type, but it's kind of going through this swampy, swaley area of South Texas on the way to San Antonio. I think that's the next big town. Anyway, we get along, like I said, maybe 100 miles up the road, and I hear this roaring sound starting, and then it gets to be more of a roaring sound, and then it gets to be kind of a thumpity thump, and it starts vibrating a little bit. So I know it's a tire issue. Can't tell which tire, so I pull off the side of the road, walk around the van, looking at all the tires, kind of thumping on them. Didn't really have a tire gauge or anything, but none of them looked low or damaged in any way. So I thought, well, I guess I have to press on. We're still 30 miles out of the next sizable town. Not really a big town, but, one that was big enough to show up on the map, and I figured have a tire store. So anyway, so I get in there and keep driving, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And finally get to this town, and we pull into this tire shop, and of course it's noon, and they're closed from noon to 1 for lunch. Well, my father-in-law, being a very impatient person, wow, let's go out of the next town. I said, we're not going to be able to make it to the next town before, something flies apart. And I actually got out of the van, and I looked, and it was the driver's front tire, and the tread was starting to separate. It was nasty, and I knew we weren't going much further. And it's 90 degrees and like super humid, it kind of reminds me of a sauna. And so we drive up the road a little bit to this other tire place. And of course, they're also closed from noon to 1 for lunch. And it's, about 10 after 1. So father-in-law is being the impatient guy that he is, which, hey, bless his heart. I can understand. But anyway, I pull up underneath a tree in front of a little restaurant in their parking lot. And so at least we're in the shade. And he calls up AAA. He's got road service. Oh, that's great. We did have a spare tire on the van. Of course, the jack and the wrench and all that are absolutely inaccessible or non-existent because I couldn't find them anywhere. So, I couldn't just change the tire. So he calls AAA, and they say, oh, we'll have somebody out there in an hour or so. Well, they were out there in about an hour and a half, which annoyed my father-in-law immensely. But anyway, the guy got the tire changed, and all was well. We got back on the road, and we kept driving across Texas. It was definitely different. I had never, I had driven in Texas before, but only up in the northern part, across the little skinny part between New Mexico and Oklahoma, and never really drove any distance in the main part of the state. So anyway, got this song we gotta play here. It's appropriate.
I'm gonna drive across Texas, my feet won't touch the ground. I'm gonna drive across Texas until I reach your town. I'll be in Shreveport before the moon goes down. Tail lights are shining on a darn highway. Keep on raining past the break of day. Just keep on driving, I'll see my baby today. can be. I'm gonna see my baby. It means the world to me. I'm gonna see my baby. She'll shine her light on me.
So anyway, we continued our drive across Texas after the tire was fixed, and we get up, just past the San Antonio area, and getting a little hungry, and I asked, well, hey, where do you want to stop? You know, mind you, we're going past all of these great fast food places. Okay, now let me back up a little bit. I'm kind of a fast food connoisseur. And of course, here in Traverse City, we got so many great local restaurants. We don't have that good of a selection of fast food. You know, we got the normal McDonald's, Burger King, Arby's, Wendy's, just Taco Bell, just kind of the normal run-of-the-mill stuff, but we don't have any of the good stuff like Sonic and Whataburger and White Castle and In-N-Out and, all the decent ones, Jack in the Box, all the stuff that they have out west and down south and all that. So, I'm kind of wanting to sample some of the good stuff, but both mother-in-law and father-in-law said, let's go to McDonald's. So we go through the McDonald's drive-through near San Antonio. Anyway, get back on the road, and we're going down the road, and everything's fine with the tires. Everything's fine with the air conditioning. Everything's fine with the van. It's all good. And I enjoy driving. I really do. And it was good. They kind of slept on and off most of the time. We had a little conversation here and there. And, of course, they were pointing out where we needed to go, even though I had 2 GPSs on board. I had the Droid phone and had the GPS that they own, Magellan, which, by the way, isn't the greatest thing in the world. But one of the deals, as we were going through Texas, we got past Dallas. The original plan was to, first day, to get to Arkadelphia, Arkansas, which is, not too far from Texarkana. And that was the original plan, but with the 2-hour delay for the tire mishap, it just wasn't going to happen. But anyway, we get through Dallas, just get on the other side of Dallas, and we decided, well, we'll probably make Mount Pleasant, Texas, which isn't too awfully far from Texarkana, maybe 50 miles or something like that. And so I call my wife, Kathy, who works at a Holiday Inn resort here in Traverse City, and she gets a pretty good deal on hotel rooms and whatnot. And so I give her a call, and I tell her, well, we're going to be in Mount Pleasant, Texas is probably where we're going to stop. And, part of the deal with the father-in-law with his skin cancer going on is he can't really sleep in a bed. He's got to kind of be in a recliner. But like I said, I won't go into the grisly details, but needless to say, that's a little bit of a dilemma on the road when you're going for a hotel room, that, not all of them have recliners. So I told Kathy, well, hey, we're going to go to Mount Pleasant, Texas, and we need to find a hotel room or a pair of hotel rooms, because I got my own room, and need to find a hotel room that takes a dog, because they have a small dog, a little Scotty, and also that has a recliner. So anyway, she did some digging around, and with her company discount, and she calls the front desk and makes friends basically with the front desk lady there in Mount Pleasant. She found us a Candlewood Suites, and I gotta say, this as a side note, Candlewood Suites is one sweet hotel. It was, well, this particular one was brand new, but I think they would all be pretty good, but this was a great hotel. Had recliners, had a kitchenette, had all this stuff. Not that we needed the kitchenette or anything, but it was a very good deal, So anyway, we needed to get a handicap room with a recliner and a hotel that would take dogs. And we found a really good rate, or Kathy found a really good rate at this Candlewood Suites. And by the way, the Magellan, I punched in the address for this Candlewood Suites, the actual street address, not just, a POI in the GPS. And it took us, it wasn't even within 3 miles of where this place ended up being. I had to call the hotel and get driving directions. But anyway, we got all settled in the hotel, and guess what's right next door? A McDonald's. So anyway, it was 10:30 at night. The Chili's and all the other normal sort of chain restaurants were closed, and so after I got them settled in the room, I drove up and got McDonald's and brought it to them in the room, and of course went up to my room with more McDonald's. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Anyway, not that it was too bad, but I could feel my cholesterol going up by the minute. So anyway, we left Mount Pleasant, Texas the next morning. And as we were leaving, I said, hey, what do you want for breakfast? Well, of course, McDonald's. So we had a couple of Egg McMuffins and hit the road. And this time our target area was somewhere in Illinois. We wanted to get up as far as, southern Illinois somewhere. I forget what town they were targeting. But, it went pretty uneventful all day, and get to... I don't remember where. We were just come out of Arkansas, actually, into the boot heel of Missouri, and Pops wants to stop. He says, I'm done. I'm tired of riding in this damn van. Let's stop. So I give Kathy a call and said, hey, we're going to end up somewhere here in Missouri. And ended up in a town called Sikeston, Missouri, which is in the little boot heel part of Missouri, that sticks down between Tennessee and Arkansas. And so anyway, she found us a Super 8 motel, which, yeah, it's okay. That, was, of course, a handicap room. Could take a dog, and had a recliner in the room for Pops to sleep in. And that worked out pretty well. But guess what? It's right next door. You guessed it. McDonald's. Okay, I've got to digress here. What is it about seniors And like I said, I don't know what unoffensive term I can use for old people, but seniors, that McDonald's is the place of choice while on the road. Now, I agree. They're handy. You know what you're going to get when you go to McDonald's, but I don't understand, there's so many other places. I mean, there was a Burger King, I believe there was a Crystal's, there was, if you're going to have fast food, there's more than just McDonald's, but, that's what they wanted, was McDonald's. So I really didn't get what old people see in McDonald's, and it's just not them. One time here, probably 4 or 5 years ago, my dad and I flew down to Yuma, Arizona. Actually, we flew to Tucson, Arizona, met up with some friends of ours, and we rode to Yuma with them for a ham radio swap fest, I guess you'd call it. I don't know. It was just an excuse to go somewhere in February. So we ended up at the Yuma Ham Fest. But here we are going down the road between Tucson and Yuma, and, I'm seeing all these great places to eat. There was an In-N-Out burger. There was Jack in the Box. Heck, even a Dairy Queen Brazier store would have been great. But nope, got to go to McDonald's. And their excuse was, well, you get free refills on pop. Okay, but I'll buy you a damn pop. Let's not go to McDonald's. But anyway, that's there's something about old people and McDonald's. And like I said, not trying to disparage the old people or the seniors, because, hey, we're all going to get there someday, God willing. And I understand that, but I just don't understand the McDonald's thing.
Get old, or so I was told when I was growing up. And now I'm watching it unfold as I'm showing up for work, where I have a broken chair and some carpal tunnel syndrome from too much solitaire. I remember a time not long ago when my hair was growing thicker on my head than in my nose, and my toes didn't have any hair, a weird dents. Now I'm popping Rolaids from a Pez dispenser. Everything hurts or makes a funny noise, and now I have to pay for all of my own toys, and I avoid any physical exertion. I'm amazed at the simplest tasks leave me sore for days. My prospects for walking get a little bit bleaker as my butt gets larger and my knees get weaker. And I hate to admit it, but it's true, I pulled a muscle in my back while I was tying my shoe. Damn, it sucks to get old.
Huh?
Damn, it sucks to get old.
Say what?
Damn, it sucks to get old.
Huh?
Damn, it sucks to get old.
What?
I have no idea what he's saying. I can't understand him one bit. Can you?
No, I can't stand him either.
You know you're getting older, things will never be the same. The day a little kid beats you in a video game, how they remember the moves and the combos and quirks, I'll never know. But hey, I remember the snorks. When I was a kid, we didn't have the internet, which of course made porn a lot harder to get. And our cars didn't have GPS, we had a mess of a map that you couldn't refold for crap. I used to stay out late on a date, get drunk as a skunk, stumble home, get up and feel great. Now, I'm home by 8 to watch MacGyver, and the only thing I'm drinking is for supplemental fiber. Back then I would pretend I was Captain Kirk. Now I have a desk and I pretend to work. I don't want to be a kid again or even 24 again, but it would be nice if I could get up off the floor again. Damn, it sucks to get old. Damn, it sucks to get old.
Yep.
Damn, it sucks to get old. Damn, it sucks to get old.
Yep. Oh, so you can understand him now.
No, I'm just pretending to listen, like I do with my wife.
Back when I was a teenager, girls didn't go around shaking their booty, showing their boobs. There was no Girls Gone Wild. Oh God, I'm depressed.
Back when I was a boy, video games only cost a quarter, and all you were was a dot who ate other dots.
You begin to forget things like who you you are, where you are, why you're where you are, how'd you get to where you are, and where the hell'd you park the car? And if you walk too far, will you need some CPR? How'd your life get so bizarre, and how the hell'd you get that scar? Your life becomes filled with more questions than answers. Like what happened to the solid gold dancer? Should I get checked for cancer? Do you know where my pants are? And what the hell's a male enhancer? I don't need fashion tips from gay men, cause finally some of my clothes are back in style again. So now I just need to be a little more svelte and get rid of this gut that's hanging over my belt. I'm checking out the hottie in the checkout line. Her name is Melanie, but it's a felony for what I have in mind. That's a plan that I don't understand, how a 30-something turns into a dirty old man. But the worst feeling is the day you realize our elected officials are just spewing real lies. One is pure evil, so you can't vote for him, but the other one couldn't teach a duck to swim. Damn, it sucks to get old. Damn, it sucks to get old.
Yep.
Damn, it sucks to get old. Damn, it sucks to get old.
Yep. Back in my day, Michael Jackson went on dates with Brooke Shields, and he made the most fantastical music. He was the king of pop, I tells you. In my day, Yoda was a puppet.
Anyway, that was Devo Spice, Getting Old Sucks. And from what I've been told, getting old does suck. Hey, geez, I forgot. Supposed to talk about my sponsor here. My sponsor is GoToMeeting. You know, in these tough economic times, a lot of companies are trying to save money. And one of the ways to do that is to save money on travel. And with GoToMeeting, you can share your screen with people in the meeting. I have free voice over IP, and it just works out really great. I know it saves me a lot of time and hassle working with coworkers that are in different sites and you know, doing demonstrations of things. You know, I do a lot of Google AdWords and work there with some clients, and you know, it's a whole lot nicer when they can see what I'm doing as I explain it over the voice over IP, and it just always works, and it's dead simple. You know, you want to set up a meeting, you just go into the program, set up the meeting, you know, cut and paste the meeting invitation, or it'll even just send it for you. And when somebody gets the invitation in their email or chat or whatever, they just click on it and a little quick install, and boom, you're up and running. And you know, it's a whole lot nicer than trying to explain to somebody you know, what you're doing over the phone. And it's a whole lot better than, you know, jumping on an airplane and flying halfway across the country for something you could do in an hour. You got to waste a whole day or two, you know, plus all that expense. So listeners of this podcast can get 30 days free by going to www.gotomeeting.com/techpodcast. That's www.gotomeeting.com/techpodcast for a free 30-day trial. And I got one more sponsor here, but this is one of those canned ads.
Are you bored with your life? Is your life really that dull that you watch paint dry? Does anyone tell you that you're fat and lazy with a bad case of dandruff? Do people tell you that your voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard? Do people tell you that you have smelly feet? Do you watch reruns of MASH over and over and over again? Do you snore so loudly that people can't sleep? When you fart in a crowd, are you the only one laughing? Well, we have a place for you. Come to the Get a Life Foundation. We have trained professionals to help you get a life. Here's just one of our graduates.
I used to be a fat slob, and people kept telling me to get a life. But I did not listen to them at first. But after a year, they cleaned me up and got me a life. Thanks, Get a Life Foundation.
So if you are doing nothing, just call 1-700-GET-LIFE. That's 1-700-GET-LIFE. Just remember, I'm not just a client, I own the company.
Okay, well, be sure to get a life there. I don't have any free 30-day trial for that, but anyway, trying to keep this lighthearted, and hopefully I'm succeeding. Anyway, when we last left our hero, me, I was in Sikeston, Missouri. The in-laws were tucked safely into their hotel room, and of course they wanted dinner. And of course there was a McDonald's next door, and I went and got them their dinner. But instead of participating in that, I decided, since I could see it from the parking lot, that I was going to go to Ruby Tuesdays. So I took a nice walk over to Ruby Tuesdays. It's about a quarter mile away. And, of course, being the eternal optimist and enjoying my cigars once in a great while, I brought a cigar along and get into the Ruby Tuesdays. And, of course, they asked me the proverbial question, which Michigan doesn't ask anymore, and probably 30-something other states, smoking or non-smoking. And I was elated. I said, of course, smoking. So anyway, I proceeded to have a couple of tall Blue Moon beers, the orangey flavored beer. And it's not orange flavored, but, Blue Moon's kind of got a citrus taste to it. And, of course, they serve it with a slice of orange, kind of like Corona with a slice of lime. And anyway, I ordered a beer and looked at the menu. Of course, they had a crab cake dinner. So, being that all I've had was McDonald's for the last 3 days, I dug into some crab cakes, had a couple of beers, smoked my cigar. It was heaven on earth in Sikeston, Missouri. Anyway, so fast forward to the next day, we take off, and the plan is to make it all the way to Grand Haven, Michigan, and that's some 500 and something miles away, which shouldn't have been a big feat, except for my mother-in-law has a sister in Terre Haute, Indiana. Of course, if we would have went straight through Illinois up to Gary, Indiana, and around the bottom of Lake Michigan, we would have gotten to Grand Haven at, probably 6 p.m. that night, local time. But she had to stop there, even though it took everything we could do to get Pops into the van, because, he was quite sore after 2 days of riding in the van. And, he's a little bit weak in the knees, and, kind of like what that song, It Sucks to Get Old says, he's got some knee problems. He was a teacher by trade, and also coached and refereed various sports activities, and spent a whole lot of time refereeing basketball, which is running up and down the court, and subsequently pretty much destroyed his knees. He's got 2 artificial knees, and like I said, with his cancer treatments and whatnot, he's kind of wore down a little bit, and so, it's totally understandable. But once he got in that van, he says, I ain't getting out till I get home. And home was Grand Haven. But anyway, so we ended up going to Terre Haute. Of course, when we got there, it was 90-something degrees. And so I left the van running in the driveway, and we spent about an hour at my mother-in-law's sister's place there in Terre Haute, and got back in the van and headed north. And of course, the GPS wanted us to go over to I-65, just get it back on I-70 and drive east a little ways, get on I-65 to go up north to Gary, Indiana. But the in-laws decided that the GPS didn't know what it was talking about, and we're just going to keeping on, going up US 41 and some other US highway. But anyway, eventually we ended up on 65 for a short bit. And got around the lake, got home about 8 o'clock p.m., which still not too bad. But we ended up, in Sykeston, we started out at 7. So that was I don't know. I guess that'd be a 12-hour day because of the time shift. Sykeston, Missouri is on Central Time, and Grand Haven's on Eastern. So, so it was a full 12-hour day, and Pops never got out of the passenger seat that whole day. And like I said, I'll spare you the grisly details of the instead of taking rest breaks. Anyway, it is a motorhome, by the way, and so there is a toilet on board, or it's a camper van, but it does have a toilet on board. But anyway, we get to Grand Haven, get everybody out of the van and up into the house and settled in, and get the van partially unloaded. And of course, my wife shows up, which she was not too far. We got there at 8. She was there about 8:15. She had driven down from Traverse City and was over at a friend's house, which we usually stay at when we go to Grand Haven. Either that or the Days Inn down there. Depends on what's going on. But anyway, Kathy gets over there, and of course we visit, or she visits with them a little bit while I decompress from the 12-hour day of driving and visiting. And finally, Kathy's ready to leave, so we leave. We have to go over to the Myers store to pick up some stuff, mainly in my case, some more beer. And we ended up over at Mary's house, which is the friend down there in Grand Haven. Thanks, Mary, for having us. But anyway, we get there, and I proceed to drink a couple of beers and decompress and all that good stuff. And it all turned out pretty good, although it was kind of weird. I had kind of an emotional thing going on, which is not normal for me. But after 4 days of stress, the stress was finally gone, and it was kind of lost there for a little bit. But I pulled it together and proceeded to, to be completely honest with you, I got pretty shit-faced, and oops, there I earned my explicit tag, but that's about the gist of it. And slept really good, and didn't get out of bed till like 11 o'clock on Saturday. And Kathy and I went over to back to the in-laws' place there in Grand Haven, and got the van the rest of the way unloaded and got everything all squared away for them. And then we went back to Myers to do some grocery shopping for the in-laws, and also some grocery shopping for the party we were going to have at Mary's house. Another friend of ours from North Carolina was there camping in the driveway at Mary's house, so it turned out that I had to stay there another day, which was good in one way and not good in another. But anyway, I really did enjoy myself, so I guess it was good. But so I pushed a cart around Myers. And by the way, if you're not familiar with Myers, it's kind of like a Walmart supercenter. And actually, it was invented long before Walmart was even a store. So Meijer was, according to Wikipedia anyway, was the originator of the supercenter, or the mega store. But anyway, go to Myers. I'm pushing a cart, and my cart is all the stuff for the party at Mary's. And Kathy's pushing the cart for all the shopping for the in-laws that we did. And so anyway, we got that all done and loaded in the Cadillac, and went back to the in-laws and put away all the groceries for them, and then went over to Mary's and put away all the groceries for the party. And like I said, we had a nice little get-together. It was more or less a class reunion for Kathy. It was a bunch of, high school friends and whatnot. And I had a nice time there. And Kathy had promised me if I stuck around for the party that we would get on the road by 10 o'clock, heading to Traverse City, so I could have some recliner time here back home before I had to go into work on Sunday night. So we woke up about 9 o'clock, or I woke up about 9 o'clock. Kathy, I guess, had been up, because when I got up, the car was all loaded, the dog was ready to go. Of course, she brought my dog down there because, he likes to travel. He's getting kind of old too, kind of one of those, it sucks to get old, but anyway. So we were on the road. We stopped by the in-laws one more time, brought them over some donuts and had coffee with them. And, I wanted to get on the road by 10. We got on the road by 10:30. I can't complain because usually when we're in Grand Haven, we don't get on the road till later than that on Sunday. So anyway, I was home and in my recliner by 1:30 after we had unloaded the truck and all that good stuff. So the Odyssey was over. You could see from the previous blog post to this post on MikeDells.com, you'll see a map, and you also see a picture of the blown tire on the back of the van. So anyway, I guess that's good enough for now. I do plan on recording a Geek of the North probably tomorrow. I do plan on getting back into that now that the family emergency is subsided for now, and I'm not going to be doing much traveling, although I am going to PodCamp, Ohio. And if you're around June 19th in Columbus, the PodCamp, Ohio and WordCamp Columbus is that day, and myself and Angelo Mandato from Raw Voice will be there representing Blueberry, Raw Voice, Tech Podcasts, and whatnot. And should be a good time. Get to meet up with Cliff Ravenscraft. Of course, I've met him a couple of times, but all at PodCamp, Ohio. So we're going to meet up with him again, and probably Barely from the Barely Podcasting, and let's see, Daniel Lewis from the Ramen Noodle, and let's see, of course, Angelo. I think that's all of the people that I'm, have met prior, but I don't know, maybe Dave Jackson. I think last year he was getting married, so maybe this year he'll show up, and that would be cool. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. So I'll be traveling down there on the 18th, and got another room there at Candlewood Suites after that one in Mount Pleasant, Texas. I'm sure the one in Columbus is just about as good, maybe not as new, but got room reservations down there at a really good rate, about half of what I was paying last year at the Microtel Inn. And it's a bit closer to Ohio State University where the PodCamp's taking place. But anyway, if you're within striking distance of Ohio State University on the 19th, why don't you make plans to come on over? I'll be there. Like I said, Angelo and a whole bunch of people. It's always a good time. This will be the third year in a row I've made PodCamp, Ohio. I may also be traveling to PodCamp, not Columbus, but the other big town, Cleveland. PodCamp Cleveland, I think, is in a couple of weeks after that, but we'll see whether Blueberry and Raw Voice send me over there or not. But I don't know, should be a good time also, whether I'm there or not. So anyway, I'm going to close out with another song, and I won't be back afterwards, but I'm going to play another one from Todd Chappelle. This one's called Google. And oh yeah, before I forget, if you got any comments, feedback, or anything else for the podcast or for me personally, you can leave a voicemail at area code 231-715-1366, or just go to, if you want to call for free or have it call you back, go over to MikeDell.com, and on the right sidebar there's a Google voice button there that you can hit and type in your phone number, and it will call you back for free, and you can leave me a voicemail there. Or if you prefer, you can send email to mike@mikedell.com, or leave a comment right there on the blog at mikedell.com. And I would appreciate feedback. Like I said, I'm not trying to rag on old people. I just found it really funny that they absolutely insisted on McDonald's for every meal on the road. And I suppose that's probably a tradition. They'd been going to Texas back and forth. In fact, they would go twice a year. They would drive down in the fall, and then just before Christmas, they would drive all the way back to Grand Haven, spend Christmas in Grand Haven, and then drive all the way back down to Texas, and then in the spring, drive all the way back. So I'm sure they had some traditions and all that, and can't fault them for that. But like I said, I'm not ragging on old people, and overall, it was a stressful but enjoyable at the same time, if that makes any sense. Family mission there. I was the only one amongst the children and in-law, sons and daughters-in-law that could get time off. Kathy, of course, is really busy this time of year with her job at the resort, and the other brothers that Kathy's two other brothers are busy. One of them drives a train for CSX, and the other one's a teacher. And my sister-in-law is also a teacher, and of course this time of year, even though school's just about out, that time of the year was inconvenient for them to go down there. So, and I had extra vacation this year, so I got picked. Actually, I volunteered because I do enjoy driving. Of course, when I volunteered, the original plan was the in-laws were going to fly home, and I was going to drive their motorhome and the dog home. So, but it didn't work out that way, and that was fine. And like I said, I had some really great conversations, and a little bit of adventure along the way, but all in all, it worked out. And hopefully, Pops will get more treatment there. He's, I believe, going down to University of Michigan to continue treatment, and hopefully that'll work out for him. And this time he can drive down there in his car, which is a lot easier for him to get in and out of than that van. So anyway, okay, with that, I'm going to play this one more song. Catch me later.
When I need information, don't know where to go, there's a certain website that tells me what I need to know. What's the latest baseball score? What's the capital of Japan? How did I find out my girlfriend used to be a man? I use Google. I use Google. I use Google. It's true. I can see my place from outer space, and I don't know what to do, 'cause it's better than Yahoo.
This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network. Find freshly picked podcasts just for you at blueberry.com. That's blueberry, no ease.com.
That's all, folks.